Hi, everybody. World of Hydration here, and we're speaking with our team, and I have the matriarch of World of Hydration, Sabine Gaudette. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be interviewing all the best leaders and other uh, massive team players that are just hitting it hard within World of Hydration, the umbrella of our amazing biggest team moving in Canada right now, biggest team moving all over the world. And I'm so happy to have my amazing wife, Sabine Gaudette, who is my upline, and I'm just so excited to have her here. So thank you very much, and hopefully you enjoy this interview.
Well, thank you, hon. I'm so appreciative that you're doing this for me. Love you lots. It has been a long road. Um, so who is me? I am Sabina G. And so I come from a small town called Yarrow. And at the time it was about 1,000 people. And I grew up on a farm. It was a hobby farm. My dad moved there because that's how he was taught. You got to have, grow your own food, be self-sufficient. And that's what he taught us. Hard work ethic. He was actually a Boilermaker. Um, and he started a duck and goose farm from that hobby farm. And didn't know anything about ducks or geese. He just thought it was a fantastic idea. And my dad is my hero. He's my mentor. He's who I'm trying to emulate, but only better. And so from the hobby farm, I grew up um, going through the whole process. So we raised our own food. We had our own garden. And then my dad actually started putting together this duck and goose farm because there was a huge market in Chinatown. And he grew that business 18 years, and it became $1 million operation. And we're talking, we were processing 3,500 ducks in a day. Um, oh, it was off, yeah, and everything. It was all in house. So there was the hatchery, there was the breeding, there was egg collection, there was the farm, the processing plant, everything done in one operation. And that's how I grew up. So I went to school, and then I started working at the age of 13, and I got my first paycheck, which was exhilarating at the time. And I was one of the first in our school to actually buy my own car. And yeah, and I worked for the next 27 years on the family business, even though at times I really didn't want to, but I did. I gave up a lot because I really didn't, that wasn't really what I wanted to do with my life. I actually wanted, like, I was a dreamer. I wanted to be in the movies. I wanted to be a dancer, music, art, you name it. That's what I wanted. But it wasn't something that was deemed prosperous. There was, it's not something that's financially going to get me anywhere, supposedly. But that was just a thought process at the time. And through that, I met Roger,
Yeah,
the love of my
that
life.
was the biggest thing, right? Like we met, and I was actually, at the time I was sick. I was in the military. I was helping out a buddy start up his rock climbing business because I was really good in being able to grasp things and learn knots and learn how to do the rock climbing. And that's how we met, is through your sister bringing you out to get instructed on
Yes.
how to do this rock climbing. But my biggest awe of you at the time was going to see you at this farm, and seeing this woman just nonstop working hard. You're not going to slow down for nothing. And here you see Sabina, she's all, prim and proper and amazing and amazing skin. But when she was actually doing this, torn up jogging pants, torn up shirts, because everything was cutting you, the trays, your egg trays that you had because you were in the hatchery, and hair full of fuzz, duck fuzz. And
Yeah.
the stink in there was just amazing because the rotting eggs that would pop. All of a sudden you hear a pop and it's like, what was that? Oh, it was a rotten egg just went off. And it's like the stink was amazing. So here
Oh my
I
God.
had a
It's
totally
horrible.
different impression of who Sabina was, right?
Yeah.
So from there, we adapted, and I started getting sicker,
Mhm.
and I was medically released from the military, and that's when a big struggle in our life started, right? So can you talk a little bit about how tough that was on you? Because here, my income, my everything was dropped to nothing, having to be going from doctor to doctor, and now you're still working 14, 16-hour days on the farm. You know, you didn't
Yes.
talk about the hours of the day.
Yeah.
Sometimes getting up at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning to go duck catching 3 times a week. But the struggle there, Sabina.
Yeah. So, like you said, long hours, getting up at 1 in the morning. There was, yeah, when you were discharged, it was a big panic. It was like, oh crap, now what? And also we had Gowan, and he was 2 at the time, and here I'm thinking, oh my gosh, now I'm an instant mom on top of that as well. And so it was quite a process, and now felt like a huge responsibility. And so that kind of pushed me forward to work even harder and even longer, and just to be able to create something. And when you started getting worse with your illness, um, yeah, it was a difficult thing, right, to struggle through.
Yeah, it was a very tough time. But okay, so let's just move on a little bit. Uh, it got to the point where we had you decided you had enough, and we decided, okay, for my health and for your what you really wanted was to be self-sufficient.
Yeah.
So we moved to Northern Ontario, and we buy this 400-acre property for, really at the time, it was like pennies.
Yes.
uh, and we created and we built up. You know, we had the farm, we had pigs, ducks, turkeys, chickens, you know, like we had the whole gamut that we're doing. And we had this amazing little hobby farm. My parents
Wow.
lived on the property. We had boats, four-wheelers, you know,
Yeah.
snow machines. We were really living the life. But basically we only went there because I needed to be near fresh air, we thought. And you know, again, just better condition, no pollution.
Yes.
So yeah, you were living the dream then.
Well, yeah, that was I think the highlight is that, when my dad sold the business, that was kind of my moment of breaking free from that. I mean, after working 27 years in that life, I really wanted something different. And I wanted my own freedom. And then you suffering with all your issues, we thought it would be the best idea if we, buy this piece of property and have the fresh air, and maybe it would do something better and be self-sufficient, because this is what I was taught. And it was a great time. And until the point, where you did suffer, and then we couldn't find a doctor, and then those kind of issues kind of came up. So, and then of course we had to move back
That's right.
and restart again. Well, actually, yeah. So restart again, basically, when we got back to Chilliwack.
Yeah, so let's say we started our new venture. You knew ducks, you knew how to do eggs, you knew how to incubate. And so we went all in on this egg production business of 3,500 ducks. And then what happened then? Like, we were a year and a half into it, and just tell me what happened to us there?
All right. So what happened was the avian flu hit. Believe it was 2000. Well, anyways, it hit, and the feed, like, we couldn't feed our birds. We didn't have enough money. We were about to turn a profit. And I was so proud of this whole process of doing it all ourselves. And we were at that point. And then the avian flu hit, and I didn't have enough money to actually pay for the feed. And so I was asking the feed company to help me out. That wasn't going to happen because I didn't have enough history. And then the SPCA came, and they basically said because we couldn't feed our birds, there was nothing wrong with our birds. I had done absolutely everything right. They were clean. There was no disease. But because I couldn't move product and I couldn't feed, we couldn't feed the birds, they ordered us to put them all down. And that was a blow and a half. That was devastating. I mean, imagine you put all your money, all your work, all your heart into something to become, like, to be something, and then it's just taken away in a moment, just like that. So it was a devastating thing. And then again, had to transition into something else.
Yeah, but having to destroy all them birds now with our young son, I think he was probably, what, 12 or something at the time.
Yeah.
And having him witness us having to physically destroy each bird one at a time,
Yeah.
was horrific. But also a life lesson to, you can't count on anybody but yourself. And
Exactly.
being an entrepreneur, we could always, hopefully, if you had your eyes open, like you did, that, okay, that part of our life, we have to, like, stop and start over, and then something else came in.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So, so after that happened, I was having a conversation with my sister, and she actually said, they're hiring janitors at the high school. Maybe you can get a job there. And me at the time, I was thinking, it's too late for me to go back to school to learn anything and learn a trade. So I figured, okay, this is great. This is, a guaranteed income if I get in. It'll be a great pension. And so I took the janitor course. There was actually a janitor course, and I took it. It was a 2-month course. I got it, put my application in, and I waited by the phone, waiting for these, phone calls because they needed people, and nobody called me. And of course, I was shy at the time. I didn't like the phone. So for me to call them to ask for a job was not going to happen. So after that happened, then I was talking to a friend of mine who needed a cleaner. And she goes, well, why don't you come clean my house? And I said, okay. And so that was the idea, to start my own business. And I started my own cleaning company. And then from her, I got a job through Ken's Tire and Wheel in Chilliwack, who was a big deal, and he knew a lot of people. And through him, I cleaned his house, his shop, and then through him, I developed this network of people that I cleaned for, and that went to 50 to 60 clients. And I did that all on my own, and pretty soon, wouldn't you know it, I'm back to working 15, 16-hour days again. So yeah, and
Crazy.
And the thing is, I needed to, because now we were in debt because of the loss of our farm. So I really did need to work my butt off.
Yeah, and I mean, as a personal note, it was so horrifying for me because here I was a combat engineer. I was this, I was that, and my ailment brought me so far down. Seeing you go off to work early in the morning and then coming in late at night,
Yeah.
and unable to do a lot of things because of my issues that I had from Gulf War illness, was it was amazing. But the depression I had because of what you were going through was also horrifying on me.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think it made it actually was a struggle for you.
mhm.
And I think that made it worse.
Yeah, it did. And so let's get to the good part. You walk in to your client of, I think it was like 4 or 5 years at that point. You
6.
walk in and you see something hooked up to their tap, and tell me what you saw.
All right. So um, my client's name is Paul, and he had showed up with this water generator that was hooked up to the tap. And he offers me a glass of water, and he says to me, he said, "This water is friggin' amazing. I drank this and my shoulder pain went away." And I said, "Really? Hmm." And I was kind of skeptical because, Paul was always into something. And, and I was still under the impression that water is just water. However, what intrigued me was that this unit actually made different waters that you could replace your cleaning supplies with, clean your food. And so that kind of piqued my interest because now it's something that could save me money in my business, and it could be a new thing for my business as well. So he invited me to a presentation to his house, and his friend Rochelle Dietz came, and she gave a presentation, and I was blown away. As soon as I saw, well, actually all of the information blew me away. Like, I had no idea that water had such a healing component to it and that it was so important. Because for me at my stage, in my state of mind, I'm thinking my body's going to take care of itself. I had the idea that whatever happens, happens. And when I saw the experiments, the water emulsifying the oil and then the disinfectant, I was like, holy crap, everybody in the world needs this. And I was so excited. And I have to tell you, I drank 8 glasses of water in that presentation, and I never went to the bathroom until I got home. And that was like 4 or 5 hours later. And so that spoke to me because that's how dehydrated I really, really was. And so with excitement, I come in the door with my water in hand, and I tell you about it, babe. And I did not expect you to be so hard on me, but you were so skeptical because you've been through the whole medical system, and you know and you thought honestly that I was being scammed. And that's exactly, well, you might as well tell the
Well,
story.
I was already a gallon of water a day drinker already, and now you're going to tell me that water was going to change my life. And so what do? I Google, the water and scam. And sure enough, when you Google something, you're going to find what you're looking for
Absolutely.
on every aspect, right? And sure enough, I'm pointing out all this stuff, and I said, you're being hosed, uh, yeah, it's impossible. So you were starting to hide this water into my coffee. I couldn't stand drinking from jugs or bottle. I like right from the tap. And so, yeah, I mean, after a few months of you going to every presentation, I think it was every Thursday or whatever, and coming home, but it really wasn't, for me, you didn't hit my pain point, which was I wasn't able to help the family financially, and I didn't want to see any loss either. I didn't want to spend anything because we were like on the we were on the brink already of being in debt, getting all our things, are still trying to work, trying to get debt free. And for you to tell me that it's going to cost me about $4,000 for this machine, it's like insane.
Yeah.
Right now, it's insane.
Yeah.
But then once you broke it down that in your cleaning business, you'd save over $2,000 a year.
Yeah.
And just breaking down everything that we use, our bottled water, like what we drank at home, like our Gatorade and everything else, to the cleaning products, to our toiletries, and you broke it all down so beautifully
I
to
know.
how much we could actually save So we're well over the $5,000 mark of what we would save with your cleaning business and it becoming a tax write-off. That was when, okay, it's going to start paying for itself as soon as I take it out of the box, is how I pictured it.
Absolutely.
So, we finally, I said yes, because the only reason is I had the other credit card that you needed to purchase, because we only had a certain limit on each card at the time.
Yeah.
But getting the machine, and then within 2 weeks, my symptoms of Gulf War illness started like dissipating massively.
Which was a beautiful thing to see, by the way. It was just, when you started being that positive, like it's like a light switch went off. You had this beautiful smile. You were, cracking jokes, and it was a beautiful thing to see.
So you said you're going to take this on as a business.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And here's Sabina. She's freaking out way back when she couldn't even order pizza.
I know.
Like she was so horrified on the phone, clearing her throat. The nerve would kick in. And at the time, we were only a small unit. A lot of my friends all moved to Edmonton, and you only had your cleaning clients. And tell me what happened. You're all excited. You're all pumped up. My husband, this is what's happening to me. Now, tell the story. You had to go now talk to each one of these people.
Yes. So I was extremely excited. And I had told you, I'm whatever it takes, I'm going to do, right? And I figured in my mind, I have 50 to 60 clients. Now, if they all buy the machine, holy cow, we're golden, right? Like we're really going to do well. Well, they were so nice. However, they didn't believe me. Like I told them the story of what happened to you, how you got, you went from, basically being crippled to like totally getting well and being back to the person you used to be, top physical condition. And they said it was really nice. And I even gave them water, right? And I was expecting, this is going to be a win, right? For sure. No, they just said, we're just so happy for you, but we're okay. We don't need that, but keep going. Right. So they all said no. Right. And I didn't know enough. I was just doing what I was kind of told, just share the water, share your story. And, and it just didn't happen that way. And it was quite a shock.
So all of a sudden, the entrepreneur Sabina kicks in again, and I need to learn what I have to do to get people, because here you ran out of people. You had nobody. You had nobody else to approach. We already had sold a couple machines, so to your dad and your sister and stuff like that. But basically, they just wanted what you had, and because you sold it on your passion, right?
Right.
Because they know who Sabina was. Obviously, these other people really didn't know.
Yeah.
But then you started reading on, okay, you have to join networking groups. You have to get your face out there and meet new people. So tell us what Sabina G needed to do.
So I have to say, I really had to push myself at this point, but again, it's about timing. It's about meeting people. And Paul and Gail, who are the ones that introduced us to this water, were my saving grace, because I was able to go there every week and actually I could tell them my stories of what happened, and they helped me through the devastation. And through that, I met other people that they knew, and they actually introduced me to networking groups. And this one beautiful group, it was like a heart link. It was just for women. And I still remember the very first one. And what it is women in business come together in a home, and they have 3 minutes to share their special business. And I was so excited about it, but so terrified at the same time. Number one, I really didn't like women that much. It, it just, it was something in me. I don't know what it is, but it happened. So I was excited. I had 3 minutes and I had written it all out. What I was going to say, I had my little demo with me with my little drinks, my tomatoes, the oil, and I was going to cram everything into 3 minutes and read from my script. And I have to tell you, it was like, and there was like 6 women in that home, and beautiful women. And it came to my turn, and I have my sheet in front of me, and I'm shaking, and I'm telling them exactly, and then I'm trying to fumble my demonstration at the same time, and my face is red, and I'm just stuttering, and I could barely speak. Um, and then I got through it, and I was so embarrassed. But the good thing is that all the women were so supportive, and they were just like, you did amazing and this is great and just keep going. And so I got a lot of encouragement from that. So it just showed me I just got to keep going. So I just did one foot in front of the other. So then what happened again was I went to a different networking group. So now this was a Fraser Valley Women. So this was a little bit bigger. So now there's like 30 women in the room. And of course, I was terrified as well. And that's actually where I met my very first big leader in Enagic on our team, Clara Reed. And she came in like a bold and beautiful, strong woman. And I was terrified when she sat beside me. Um, but yeah, so that was my start. And then the second or the third networking group was the Chamber of Commerce. And this was now men and women. And I kind of was in the corner, and that's when I met Fred Reed, which is Clara's husband. And he came to me and he just had a conversation with me and kind of started introducing me to people. And he was my very first actual sit down one-on-one with the water, because he was in marketing at the time. So we were kind of going to trade, right? So I sent water home with him and he gave it to Clara. And well, and then after that, they came to a presentation, and yeah, they blew up after that. So
And I think I seen one of the original girls from your original networking. I think there was 10 women in the picture, and I know that there was 6 of them that have Kangen water machines today. So that was a nice picture to reflect back on.
yes,
So let's speed up. So now through our company, you know your empowerment just kept growing and growing and growing. You became certified senior or certified trainer, senior certified trainer, then a master certified trainer through the company, learning how to deal with a lot of things that hold us back.
yes,
And a lot of things held true to you because you were one of these people
yes,
that was the caterpillar shaking on the with the phone to now this beautiful butterfly that's like helping everybody and everybody underneath. So now we have thousands and thousands of people underneath us
mm-hmm.
because of your direction and paying forward how Paul and Gail were to you, you are to your team because you're always there for them. You're always there to uplift them. Sabina's got, I know most of you have met her. She got like the sweetest, kindest eyes. And when she's listening, you're almost like sucked into her kindness because it's a true feeling that you get with her. And I know a lot of women and a lot of men have said the same thing. They just get, you know, like mesmerized that she's that into listening to you, right? So let's move this forward, okay? Because I want this to be a happy thing because now you not only are doing our business, but now you became this a totally different person came out when you started getting this idea that, oh my God, Raj, when I go to these meetings, I'm noticing that I'm connecting people way better, and I'm giving value, not just because I'm trying to, get them a machine because they need it for their family, but I'm helping them grow their business just through connecting people. And you're adding value to people's lives, and which is amazing. So tell me about like that whole transition.
Okay, so when I first became a leader in an adjunct, and like you said, I took the first certified trainer training. I did it for a specific reason, because I wanted to be a good leader. And I figure if I have 100 people in my team, I really want to know how to lead well. And it all had to do with personal development and holding the hands of your team to come together, to learn together. And so that really helped me open my eyes to a different way of what I was used to. And so going forward, I wanted to instill that training. I wanted to be able to have people really grab onto their talents and their gifts to make sure that they were doing their business the way they could explode it themselves, instead of me kind of dictating, this is how you're going to do it, like this way, this way, this way, because there is no one way. And everybody has gifts and talents that they could use to grow their business. And that was very, very important for me. And through this whole process of us becoming more and more successful, I realized that what was really important was connection. Like, I began going to the networking events not to get the sale anymore. I really was interested in the relationship with people at this point. That was what was significant. Like, I really got involved in the relationship of people. And once I started really listening to who they were, and then another person, and then it was like I started connecting them together. It had nothing to do with me. I took myself out of the equation, and I really saw people that should work together. And so I started doing that. And that then I got so many great relationships just by doing that, and listening and kind of connecting people. So that is huge. This business, any business, is all about relationships. And even if they don't buy from you, you never know, like 2, 3, 4 years later, they could, because they will remember who you are, how you listened to them, and how you treated them. And I feel very, very honored that I'm able to do that, and I have these relationships.
Yeah, because I mean, just a week ago or a little bit, like somebody's coming up to you that we shared a presentation with like years back. We're talking 6, 7 years ago, are coming back. They're adding value. She's in the photography business. She's into a whole bunch of stuff, and you're connecting that way. So, I mean, again, it's so beautiful. So through this connection thing, you were gonna create with 2 other ladies
Yeah.
now the secrets to agelessness, and you're kind of gonna come and bring them all together in one room, one event. How is that going to be? Tell me about that.
Okay, so um, late 2019, I connected 2 other ladies together. One was functional medicine, and the other was fitness, and of course me with the water. And we were sitting around, we were getting along so well over coffee, and we were discussing we should do an event together um, about agelessness. And so it was an idea that was formed. We were all excited about it. And then as any idea, um, sometimes it just kind of goes to the wayside for a while. And then like nothing was happening. We all kind of got busy on our own thing. So January 2020 comes, and I thought to myself, because I kept thinking about this idea, this is like an awesome idea. This is what it's all about. And so I jumped And I took the bull by the horns and I said, we're doing this. I phoned both of them up. I said, we need to act on this. I just have this strong urge that it needs to be done. And they all said yes. So we started. And as I was networking and I was meeting more and more women and more different health modalities, I realized that it was much more than functional medicine, fitness, nutrition, and water. It included a whole other segment like sleep, meditation, um, sex, money, all these things that we stress about actually age us. And so I was actually able to collect nine speakers in total for this Secrets to Agelessness event, all speaking on their topic. And I think it was the best thing because it was something that was created from scratch, and it was just, and they all agreed. And it would have been an amazing event. But it will be happening in the fall. And I'm very excited about it. And everybody around me that I talk to is excited about it, because really that's what people want to know. They want to know how they can live well, they live happy and healthy. And I'm still very, very excited about it.
Yeah. And I know, like, everybody that you talked, they were saying, yes, I want it. Can I have a table? Like they wanted to have their own tables because you were going to have all that.
Yeah.
But let's just date it to why it didn't happen. It happened because of one word, quarantine. So you guys all know what that means. You're all living in it, right? So now let's go. Now we're in quarantine. You're getting ideas because this was another idea that, was just in the back of the brain. You wanted to do it, but everybody has their issue with being on camera. So now here's another fear that you need to push through, doing Facebook Lives, doing whatever you could. But now you're going to come with, I need to do Sabine GTV.
Yes.
Now, tell me what your vision is and what the viewers and the followers are to expect with what Sabine GTV is going to bring to their life.
Okay. Yes, I'm very excited about Sabine G's TV. I actually have to say it was because of a mastermind women's group that I was part of, and that's how the idea came. But for a while now, everybody's been saying, get on video, get on video, get on video. And of course, for me, this is still something that I struggle with. And it's the one thing that I'm jumping into now. So it is about inspiration. It is about getting over it, right? When I think back to all the fears that I had, I overcame them all. So I feel that this is the last thing. It's getting out there, getting visual, and just not giving a hoot, right? Because quite honestly, we have so much to offer, and it really needs to be out there. And I really, really want to empower others to step into their uniqueness, their uniqueness, their gifts, and really become something great. And so that's what I want this to look like with Sabine G. And I want it to be entertaining. I want it to be fun. I want it to be ageless. I want it to really help other people, inspire.
And that's just it. You're inspiring and you're adding value. Again, adding value to people. And really, we're talking everybody, not just because I know our industry is health through molecular hydrogen and what our machine could do. But again, you lived it. Yeah. You read books on it. You're constantly learning. You're constantly going to networking groups. You're constantly on webinars. You're constantly on Zoom calls. Yes. And so you're building this database of what to talk about and to be able to help people. And I mean, the smallest little word could mean the world to people. And I know with what you've done, you're going to add a lot of value to people's lives for sure.
Thank you, babe. That's the whole point.
Awesome. So let's just end this. And I know we went a little long, but I wanted you guys to know who my wife was and who Sabina is, where she came from. And that's just really a small snippet
It is.
of what this chick's been through. Uh, and yeah, being all in duck fuzz to now this amazing speaker that speaks on stage in front of thousands of people about fear and getting out of fear. And we didn't even talk about that, but yeah, speaking in Hawaii, Las Vegas, you're international, you're helping an international team, and you're helping individuals that have nothing to do with what you do.
Exactly.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
So awesome, babe. I'm looking forward to your videos. I'm looking forward to you giggling and videoing yourself and doing selfies and everything else that you've been doing, which you are so out of whack with, but now you're a pro at.
Thank you.
So again, thanks everybody, and thank you, Sabina. And okay, so we'll just end it there. And I just want to shout out to the team that I will be speaking with the leaders. I want the leaders and the real machine movers, the inspiration people. I want the story about how you're going to be doing your business, how you do your business, how you get out there, how do you get out of your fears, how you get your leads, where you get your contacts. This is what I want. I want this to be an inspiration for your team and your team's team. Okay, so I can't wait to get out and interview my next person for
Yay.
World of Hydration or 3 Health Solutions, right? Sabina, again, is the matriarch of World of Hydration and 3 Health Solutions. So we're so excited to, and we just love our whole team.
Yes.
Amazing.
That's
And they're motivated. They know what they have and they want to make sure that everybody gets this technology in their lives to not only if they want to do the business or not, it's to about changing their family's life as well too, through health. Okay, awesome. Have a great day, guys. Love you all. Bye. Thank you again, Sabina.
You're welcome.